I might not have a long one, but I got a good one. And today's video is what I'm talking about. How to prep your cards for grading, specifically through Beckett, because that's the best. I get this DM all the time. How do you do it? What do you do? I send out stuff weekly. I have yet another box that's going out. So I thought, you know what? There's something here. I can show you what I do. Am I saying that there's no other options on how to do this as I take you through these? No. I'm telling you what I do. And this is probably what 90% of everyone does. We're going to go over the centering, what to look for. We're going to go over the condition, how to utilize light to your advantage. Black lights. Some of you know what that is. I'm going to give you actual links to what I use to Amazon. Tell you why I'm doing it, what I use it for. I'm going to set you up for success when everyone else is talking about God knows what. I'm giving you something tangible. And I'm also going to refer to Beckett's actual submission process as well. So I'm going to give you a little bit about what I suggest, a little bit of what they do. And then you make your own determination about what's best for you in your situation. And I do this out of the kindness of my heart because I'm a good guy. What's the least thing you can do for me is like, subscribe, comment, share this. Follow me on Whatnot. Follow me on Instagram. We do dollar starts on Whatnot every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Every Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern. It's a fun old time. You should be part of that. In the meantime, how do we prep our cards? The first thing I want to talk about is what I'm going to go through with you. Go through these links, through these steps, what to look for. Again, it's not going to be a long one. Good one. It will apply to base, standard, express, and priority. It doesn't really matter. This preparatory stage, this first initial round, is going to be revolving around all grading. And this will even expend past BGS, tag, PSA, CGC, and whoever else you use, whatever sub lower class say in category of grading companies you decide. Let's wet the whistle. Get to it. Here's the first thing I want to talk about is supplies. Okay? When we talk about supplies, the first thing I want to talk about, and you kind of get the idea of what I'm showing off here, is gloves. Why? If you've ever joined, if you came from Whatnot or you're going to Whatnot, every single card that I show off, I take it out of the sleeve, I show the front, I show the back. I kind of go through this exact process. But I always have a damn thumbprint that I leave there. And I have a microfiber glove. I clean it off so that when you get it, it's pristine, it's beautiful. It's a nice silver plate that I'm serving it on. But when I go to grade my cards, I actually do this because I don't want any of my oils, any of the Cheeto stains, the grease, my nuggies, whatever is on my finger. I don't want it to get onto the card in any caliber. So for $20, I'll get 200 of these. I also use this when I'm grilling, when I'm working with meat, steak, when I'm slicing steak. Oh, delicious. That's the first thing I'm going to talk about is gloves. Not required by any means. Go wash your hands with soap and water. You should be fine. I like gloves. That's just me. I use them for a lot of other things. Second thing that you'll see, and again, I do this in my Whatnot streams, is these microfiber rags. What do you call it? Cloths. This is $5, $6 for a 12-pack. No brainer. It's good for glasses. It's good for your screen, for cameras. Clean them off. Very good for your cards. You can get quite a few cleanings with your cards with just one or two of them. So this will last you quite a long time. A great way to get rid of smudge, get rid of little oils, whatever might be on your cards, especially if you buy cards from people. It's a great little step. I like to clean that whistle off before I ship her off. You know what I mean? Okay. Black light. And I'm not talking about going to your bedroom, going to your little brother's room, seeing what kind of nonsense he's going through. Hey, honey, you want to play a game? This has to do with cards. Right? your head out of the gutter. This is actually pretty valuable for a couple of different reasons. Now, if you're purchasing slabs, this is a great way to be able to authenticate PSA slabs, especially with so many fake slabs in the Pokemon realm. You know, it's just a matter of time before it spills over to our world. So that could be another time for another video. But I really like to use this for the back of cards to be able to find whitening stains that I actually kind of miss with my eyes at times. And maybe I have bad eyes. Maybe you can see better than me. But I'm going to give you a good example as to a real life shot with and without that black light where you can see that damage. And that damage is vital, especially if you watch some of our other videos. Anthony, I'm buying all these $10 cards. A lot of people throw $10 cards into their binder. Could be susceptible to damage in that scenario. And if they are, you want to catch that earlier rather than later. So I think this is a must-have. And I've obviously had mine for quite a few years. It's in my bag. I got a show tomorrow. I'm going to be bringing them. Last one. Yes, I do buy these by the 1,000. 1,000 count. You can buy them small, 100. You can get one box. Here you go. $85. It's 20 bucks. 15 bucks. Semi-ridge card holders. This is a 2-for-1. All right. You get your semi-ridge and you get penny sleeves. 2-for-1. Vital for the submitting process. All of those links. Pause it. It's all in the description. I put it in there. AI is going to help me out. We're going to take care of you. Don't worry. So what's really the first thing that you like to do, Anthony? Aside from obviously visually looking at the card, you got to look at the centering of the card. And when people talk about centering of the card, what they're referring to is you can see, obviously there's an edge to the card, right? The most outward edge of the card. But if you go in one line, and really you're looking at that black and red line, the distance between the top of that edge, so the distance between the top of this card and that first, this is a certain length. It's not, but just for the sake of for conversation, let's say it's 1 inch. It's not. Well, let's say it's 1 inch. They will compare this to the side here, to the side here, and to the bottom here. And what they're looking for, perfect centering, is to make sure all edges are the same length. It's not 1 inch, but for my example, 1 inch. If one is 1/2 of an inch and the other one's 1.5 inches, that is off center, right? So sometimes you'll hear people, look at those beautiful nails. I take care of my. Sometimes you'll see people say, "Oh, that's top heavy. Oh, that's heavy to the left. That's heavy to the right. Oh, that's bottom heavy." What they're saying is top heavy is this distance is thicker visually than this one. And on this card is actually a card that I sent in for grading. And this is a perfect example, so I figured I'd take a photo of it. And because visually to my eyes, this looks pretty well centered all around, right? This space, 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 all look like they're equal, right? That's number one. Now, there's apps that you can download to your smart little phone. Scan it, and it says, "Oh, I think this is going to get a PSA 9. I think it's going to be..." Yeah, okay. I don't use those. I'm a little old school. I was born in 90, baby. I'd rather have a flip phone than this magical thing. So I like to go off of my eyes. There are also tools, like actual little, like, almost protractor ruler, transparent. You put it on top, and it tells you, what's off. What's really nice about Dragon Ball, I have a harder time finding off-center, like really off-center cards than not. Bandai as a whole is really good grading. Dragon Ball's even better. It's got a really good gem rate. So this is something that you would look at. That's like the first qualifier. Broadly, does this have any centering issues? Okay, that's number one. Number two, when I take a look at this photo, you'll see something kind of crazy here. I don't know what that was. It was nothing. That's not what the point of this video was. Or this shot, rather. but there's actually damage on the edge. And I'm going to show you why it's so important for you to have that black. I wish I had it. It's in my bag. That black. So if I looked at this card visually myself and I'm looking at the edges, because that's generally where you're going to see a lot of the damage, right? Someone takes it, goes to put it into a penny sleeve. They slide it into their binder. If they have a ring binder, it could hit the edges. They drop it on the floor. Whatever the hell they're doing with it. Who knows? Visually, if I look at this card, it looks pretty damn good in terms of damage on this edge. Again, we're going to ignore this. I don't know what that was. It must have been the lighting. But this is the exact same card. Looks good to me. I got old eyes, right? Looks a-okay. And these are steps that you can do on eBay. When they take a picture of the back. Oh, what's the center look like? What's the damage? This is what it looks like. The exact same card. Exact same card with a black light. And this is why I say you should black light it. How much is this black light? Microfiber. For $9. You get a little bit of insurance. This white dot here, this little mark, is maybe it's very difficult for you to see. Can I zoom in on this? Can we get a zoom, Lois? Can we get a little zoom? Little zoomy zoom? Maybe it's difficult to see for you. But that little white nick, guess what? That will cost, that is the difference between Black Label, a 10, and a 9. Right there. So it's very important when you're looking at these cards. I mean, let's look at where this is. I mean, can you see it? I'll even zoom in a little bit. Exact same card. Can you see it? It's about here. Exact same card. I just turned on the flashlight. This is important when it comes to comping your cards. You know, I'm buying a collection. I got 3 collections that just came in. Take that collection out. Quick look. You'll notice it right away. You'll notice it right away. 2 little nicks. That's gonna be your game changer. That's the black light. That's for $9. You didn't waste your money. For a $9 investment, whether it is a $18, $20 card, a $30 card, or a $700 card, you prevented yourself from wasting your time and your money. I know. Because I can't see it here. By the way, that's this same card. That's this same card. So centering looked good, but then when I look, I got a little nick. I would not send that card in. So this is one of those preparatory steps that I like. What else do I like to do? I got these cool, I didn't put this in there. You can find it yourself. Little ring lights. I guess you can, there it is. There's your ring, right? I bought like 2 or 3 of them. They're strategically staged around here. And I like to make my adult movies on OnlyFans one day. I'll have plenty of those to give me the right angle. This is that same card too. BTW. You don't see it here. You don't see it here. You may a little, you can because you know it's there. Very faint. I know it's there. Maybe you know it's there. But you gotta reflect it in the light. So a lot of times when I'm selling my cards on Whatnot, I have 2 lights. I take the card out of the sleeve. If I see a thumbprint, I grab my thing, I clean it. And then I'm basically doing this. I'm doing these small, see how there's a glare on it? Can you do that when you're buying a collection on Facebook? No. You don't really have that opportunity. You know, you're kind of rolling the dice and deciding on whether or not you're going to get big or not. Hopefully the person you've done deals with, you know, can do this. It's not crazy to ask. Feel free to screenshot this. Hey, I'm looking for something like this. Feel free to screenshot. Steal all of these things. But look at that. You could barely tell it's here, but it's there. See, RentFam's teaching us all the good stuff. So you got to do that with the light, because there's some indents that are so fine you can't see it. So we're going to check for centering. We're going to look for visual on the edges. We're going to black light the edges. And then we're going to do a little dance with that card in the light. to see if we can catch any of this. This card absolutely will not be graded, right? Because now I got a huge line down the back. That's not going to black label. That's not going to 10. And I got, where's my, oh, did I delete it? Did I move it? Because I accidentally deleted it. There it is. And I got the 2 little nicks. There's no way I'm setting that card in. No way. Centering, visual with your eyes on the edges, black light with the edges. You do your little dance with the light. The end result, and of course, look, you got to have to repeat this with the front too, right? Look for the front. Do the black light to the front. How do the thing, you know, sometimes there's borders. Like if you look at some of these lower value cards, there's some borders on them. Same process, right? What you do in the front is what you do in the back. Same thing with the lady. Once you're done, and I love tournament cards, I'm grading this one. It's up next. This is not that card, thank God. You're going to put it inside of a penny sleeve and a semi-ridge top loader. Remember, that is a 2-for-1 in this. That's exactly what I buy. Look, I buy this thing all the time. Now I do thousands, so I don't have to buy them as often. And this is what your end result is for one card. At this point, I'm going to refer to, this is actually Beckett's link. They have this on their website. You can just look up this name. Look, they got their Beckett here, how to prepare and ship your cards. I got it on mute. I'm going to kind of give you through this. You put your card inside of that penny sleeve. You add that card into the top loader. From the top loader, you rinse and repeat that process, right? They say put it into a bag. You can do that, totally optional. I don't. I actually will take those cards and put pieces of cardboard or semi-ridge dent dings in between, kind of like what you see here. I like to tape mine. I don't like to put the band, the rubber band on it. I'm going to stop there. The reason why I don't like the rubber band, I feel like if there's too much tension on it, it could warp my card. If they take it off, they might be a jack and they might pull it too hard from one side, which then will cause pressure on the other end. Again, could damage my card. So I like tape. I specifically like this thin painter's tape. I love this thin painter's tape. You can find this. I don't have a link for it because I didn't think about it until this exact moment, but you can find it. DM me on Instagram if you're looking for it. And then as we continue to go through this, they're going to bubble wrap it. I always bubble wrap as well. I'd rather do over the amount that is necessary for my cards. You can never do too much. You can always do too little. They're boxing this up. Same thing. I'll box it up. I put some, some safe space inside of there. Most important thing after you put all your stuff in there, if you've never graded with Beckett before, is you got to put the packing slip. I want to bring this back just a little bit. That packing slip it's emailed to you, but it's also right there on the page. When you hit, it's going to be $500. Cool. Submit. Let's do it. And then boom, it says, here's your packing slip. Here's a print it. You print it. You got to include it. It's not an option. This isn't, well, maybe it'll be not. No, you got to do it. This is part of that. Do you submit that in? You stick it in there. I like to tape it directly to my stack. You can see they're just putting it in the box. Bring it back a little bit. Bring it back. Susie, bring it back. Thank you, Susie. When we have it, you put it in there. You know what happens? It could slip. Maybe they go to open it and it, piece of paper flat. I don't know. I'm taping that exact thing to my stack of cards. And hopefully one day I can show everyone exactly what I mean, but I'm taping it to it. If they get my cards, they get the packing slip. They get the packing slip, they get my card. They're one and the same, right? But that's pretty much it. You box it up, you get a label, you slap a label on there. You do have to buy the label yourself. There's the address. Again, they provide all this stuff to you. Really what I want to call out, the centering. You gotta, again, the distance that this little wedge here, this distance here, does it look like it's about the same here? Well, RAM, I can just download an app and use that. Yeah, okay, do it. I like visual. I don't know. Sent in 30 cards once. I got 7 black labels, 6 9.5s, and the rest 10. My eyes are doing pretty well for centering. Well, Anthony, it looks a little off. Okay, then buy a tool. Anthony, I can see the whitening there. All right, great. I can't, so I use the tool. These are all trials and tribulations that you have to go through to make sure you get the best possible outcome. Because, yeah, I might tell you, go purchase these low-value cards and grade them. But you know what all of these low value cards have in common? They're going to pass this test. They're going to be looked at from centering perspective for dents and dings, the fronts and backs. They're going to be black lit, black lighted, black lit. I don't know. They're going to be both. And then I'm going to do this little dance in the reflection to make sure both sides look clean. If that's good, I wipe them down, penny sleeve it, semi-ridge, stack them all, put inserts in between, tape them together, bubble wrap it, tape my packing slip, put it into a box that's well put together, and I let her go. Pretty simple. That's how you're prepping your cards for Beckett. And like I said in the beginning, this is repeatable. This is rinse and repeat, baby. We did this in about 20. Once you have this down, you got a little station, you got all your tools, you should be sending stuff out. The $10, the express, if you want to do priority, sure. Who am I to yuck your yum? You don't need a little magnifying glass. You don't need a duster. You don't need a microfiber, baby. Chat, if you want to buy some of these singles, if you want to buy some of these slabs, Tuesdays, 9 p.m., Saturdays, 10 p.m. Eastern. Join us on Whatnot. We dollar start stuff. We're doing rip and ship soon. Maybe some surprise sets. We'll see. Follow us on Instagram. You want to talk with me directly? I don't have a team. I don't read these comments. Some of them, not really. Just DM us. Let me know what you think. Put it in the chat. Share this. Like it. Subscribe. The whole shebang. Tomorrow, we're going to be dropping some more information just for you. We'll see you then.